What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Monday Night Raw review. Now, did this show particularly suck tonight? I would say no, in some ways. It had its moments, it had its good parts, it had its bad parts. So, the show had its moments, there was still some bad parts, but we kicked it off with Big Cass. Well, JoJo saying Big Cass, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. As he came out and says, "How you doing?" But you should ask Enzo that. But they showed pictures and video, which finally, at least they're moving past this feud, and that Enzo got the crap kicked out of him. And as the footage was shown, people chanted "Casshole." And they say, this is a wrestler from the entire locker room who's at the very top of the totem pole right now. That no one is better than me. You're not going to bandwagon me because, he's the future of the WWE. All you people in the back that doubted me in NXT, backstage, anyone in that locker room. He said, one day I will become the Universal Champion, and when I win the Universal Championship, he says he will hold the title high, he will shove it down people's throats, he will win, he will headline WrestleMania, he'll appear on the Tonight Show, have his face plastered everywhere, and he will represent WWE every day of his life to the fullest. Because there's no one on his level that can look me eye to eye. I am on top of the mountain. And then something that kind of killed the whole thing was Big Show coming out. Big Show came out. They had a stare down. Next thing you know, Big Show headbutting him and just started punching and kicking, which was very lopsided, by the way, too. So it's almost like after Cass made some say cut one of maybe the best promos in his career, gets the crap kicked out of him by Big Show later, pretty much getting roughed up. Kind of killed his whole momentum in a way, slowed it down. As Cass pretty much fled away after Big Show just punched and kicked him and threw him to the ground and just knocked him all over the place. So he just threw him everywhere. So I don't know why, and him said I'm going to represent it to the fullest. I don't know why the heels on the company side now are usually not. So we'll probably see a match with Cass and Big Show. That's the predicted really to happen sooner or later. But a good promo from Cass, but Big Show kind of killed it. They showed a lot of Braun Strowman clips of how that was going to go down tonight. But Elias Sampson came out singing the song about Finn Balor, saying he would not be upstaged by him. Finn Balor came out. He went against Elias Sampson. Pretty much a good match. He won with the coup de grace after hitting a sling blade, holding his arm. So, excuse me. Yeah, pretty much Finn Balor won. Hopefully this feud is kind of over and they'll move on from this. And maybe Finn Balor will go somewhere else in this feud. But hey, you never know. But he got the clean win. So yeah. Next thing you know, the Hardys came out and they pretty much congratulated Finn Balor as they came down to the stage after the break. They talked about the Iron Man tag team match, and Jeff said, we were 1 second short of it, and the tag team titles in the back, and and this this is the big thing. I'm sure everybody's gonna go nuts for it. Hey, I'm wearing a shirt that has it too, but Jeff says maybe we'll fade away and classify ourselves as obsolete. As Matt says, I have made a proclamation, yeah. And they said they didn't he said they're not going anywhere, and they just begun to make magic in the universe. Gallows and Anderson came out, pretty much said we are magic killers. So they went against the Hardys that were already hurt. They didn't really dressed to compete at one point, but they actually went with the Boot of Doom. Next thing you know, the Revival came out. Oh, and one thing, fuck the Revival, Cody Rhodes style. So one thing that I will say surprising is that for once Gallows and Anderson actually got a win, but hey, the Hardys were already hurt, so logically it makes sense. And they beat the Hardys up, and the Hardys just taking it out after they beat up last night. Then again, I don't know where you see Gallows and Anderson going anywhere nowadays. Like they just made those guys look like jokes. I wish they would have moved them to SmackDown. Revival was released back. They beat up the Hardys, Shatter Machine on Jeff. But now the question is, will they be broken? Because then again, you don't really have any face tag teams. There's been too many tag team breakups. Because what is all the tag teams? They're mostly all heels. The Revival, Gallows and Anderson, Sheamus and Cesaro. The only tag teams that are faces are the Hardys. Now, will we see the broken gimmick? I don't know. And people are excited. They did this, their delete chants, delete, and Brother Nero chants. I don't know if maybe I guess they did work out a deal with Anthem, TNA, or whatever, and maybe I guess they cut a deal, and I guess they're gonna maybe let some of the Hardys use some of the gimmick. I'm not sure how that will go really, but maybe I guess they have reached a deal. I'm not really sure, because usually every other day I keep reading stories saying that they've nearly reached the deal, they've nearly reached the deal, they've nearly reached the deal. But have they gotten to the deal yet? That is the question. Have they? Because I can hear a story every day, and Matt can mess with us on Twitter and stuff, and throw out hints every other time. But is this it? Is these the first steps? Will this lead to SummerSlam? I don't know. It's like I said before with the broken gimmick in WWE. If Matt Hardy has full control, it'll be alright. If the WWE has to do it and being micromanaged by Vince and Bucktooth Dunn back there, then I have my worries, and fuck them, because they're known for messing up good shit. Especially this gold man that is on the hands right here with the Hardys, because Vince will probably micromanage him, and I don't know. Do I expect to see some final deletion type stuff? Maybe. It's kind of odd, because even days earlier, 1 year earlier, the final deletion was last year. So I mean, what a great showing that was. And I know a lot of people didn't like it at first, but I've been watching this whole broken thing since the Slammiversary contract of last year, and said that the Nero is over. It's over in the piano and stuff since the Slammiversary of last year with the contract signing. But is this not going to broken? I don't know. Time will tell. And even mad to go against, I guess they're doing the Young Bucks a favor. And hey, fuck the Revival, pretty much. As Cody Rhodes would say, since the Bullet Club doesn't like them. And everybody says, 1, 2, 3, fuck the Revival! So that's really fun to see with when they say fuck the Revival. So will we see the broken gimmick? I don't know. Will we see Rebby? Will we see King Maxwell, Senior Benjamin? Of course, we're not going to see people like the Kid or Superhero or the Express that rocks and rolls. I don't know what we'll see from this whole thing. But then again, I don't know if it's going to be as good as the first one. It's like I said, if Matt's not in control and WWE is, then that's a problem. But hey, time will tell. But most likely we'll have the Hardys go against the Revival. Or maybe they'll get a title rematch for the tag team titles. I don't know, because not really any face teams, and they're literally the only face team they got on this show. Miz was out with Maurice Bodas and Curtis Axel, giving out the Mizzies and stuff. As fans sharing, you deserve it. The Bodas and Curtis Axel saying, you took us from a bad part in our careers, and we felt underutilized, but now we're winners now and stuff, and gave Maurice a win and stuff, until one was Dean Ambrose, and he said just kidding, because Dean Ambrose runs his mouth, and that Miz is irrelevant to this whole thing. Miz pretty much say Ambrose is nothing, and he folds under pressure. And after that, Dean Ambrose came out and tried to go against all three of them, but Dean Ambrose was jumped. Next thing you know, Seth Rollins comes out and helps him, which people now are saying it's the Shield. But here's the thing, we really want to see the Shield versus the Miztourage. I don't know. Does anybody really want to see the Shield versus the Miztourage, though? If we even know Roman, I honestly don't think Roman would be involved in this. Roman would be involved in it, but the Shield versus the Miztourage. Not really the biggest idea of this, but hey, all three members of the Shield are technically all faces right now. And it's, the Shield we know is legit. Miz, yeah, too, even though I feel like Ross kind of killed him a little. And then again, you got two other guys that are, mostly on main event or superstars that nobody watches. So who really wants to see the Shield versus The Miz Taraj with Dean Ambrose says, forget about a Shield reunion, I know what you do, so stay out of my business and stuff. And so, Ambrose kind of made it clear he didn't want any Shield involvement. Sasha Banks and Bayley win with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. Pretty much the same match as Swirls from last week. Bayley actually once got a win and rolled up Alexa Bliss. Didn't win, so they'll probably lead us in the SummerSlam with Sasha and Alexa for the title. Not much to say from there. They still play more clips of Strowman, which they don't know where he is still. So, yeah. We'll find out that later. Truth went against Goldust. Goldust pretty much did his promos and stuff. Sitting in his chair. This will be the sequel to this final Truth thing that's going on. So, yeah. Sorry, Goldust went against Truth then, which I don't think the crowd just didn't care. Also, it's about Goldust versus Truth, and I'll say that I was eating dinner too, so I don't think a lot of people cared through this match. They looked like they weren't paying attention. They looked like they gave no fucks when they saw this match. They was like, yeah, I don't know. It's almost like the cruiserweight match almost, where the crowd does not react. So, we have not seen anything from this match. Goldust won with his final cut, but the fans just did not care. I don't know how long they're going to continue this feud. So yeah, Kurt Angle came out, did his "You Suck" chants, and he talked about the Great Balls of Fire and the ambulance match, and talked about Strowman and everything. And I know this is the big thing with Roman Reigns, and this wasn't even addressed through this whole segment. Roman Reigns tried to kill Braun Strowman with almost vehicular homicide almost and stuff, attempted murder. But then again, you gotta remember, I should have said this in the video yesterday too about this. Hey, we've seen people do this car stunt with Shane McMahon, Kane, Heidenreich, Hulk Hogan, I believe, Taker also. So we kind of seen this. And then again, if we can go back a little, Strowman put Roman in an ambulance and then flipped them over. So it'd just be like a way of getting payback in a way too. So it's like, and this thing, it didn't do a double turn, and it didn't look like, well, we kind of knew, I knew Roman Reigns was never going to go heel, but kind of moving on from there, we'll get back to that in a second. Kurt Angle called out Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. He congratulated Brock Lesnar and talked about his win against each other for the WWE title 14 years ago. They shook hands, and they talked about the match at SummerSlam. And Heyman said, listen, get a little creative thing in the back, meetings, that could work when that brainstorming. We'll come back on our time, so you guys have a good night. Roman Reigns comes out and pretty much, stops them, and he says that we're not done here, he says. And Kurt Angle pretty much says, you think you're getting a title shot after what you pulled last night? And he Roman Reigns has to justify it and says, all you guys are now today. Paul Heyman, ECW, the fodder rock, Corey called him. Kurt Angle, he was in the Attitude Era. Brock Lesnar was put more on the ruthless aggression, but I think he showed up in the end of the Attitude Era, really, but he was more on the ruthless aggression era. And he says, you guys are in the Attitude Era, you destroyed everything, you blew it all up, okay? I did the same thing as you guys did back then. Well, Angle says, this is then, that was then, and this is now. But Reigns says, you should be thanking me, because you didn't know how to handle Strowman, and Lesnar wasn't even around to do it. As Lesnar looked kind of pissed, Roman said, you owe me one. I get him at SummerSlam for the title. And Heyman just looked at him, and Brock got the mic. You gotta be kidding. You actually think you deserve this? And since Brock Lesnar's the only person on this roster that can curse and get away with it and say anything he likes on this mic and won't be in trouble, he says, you don't deserve shit, buddy, okay? This is good close to how you're ever going to get. You don't deserve it. Alright, man, alright? This is the closest thing you will get to this belt. And Samoa Joe came out, and he says, oh, we live in a wonderful, fancy land, alright? He says, I'm going to drag you guys back down to reality. Brock Lesnar says, reality is, I kicked your ass last night. That's the reality. Okay, you lost. And Joe pretty much told him, and how I put you to sleep. And he said, you know your heart of hearts, you know that uh, you didn't beat me. You escaped me pretty much. And he even looked at Roman Reigns and said, you never even beaten me. And pretty much Paul Heyman said that Reigns, the Samoan that put the Undertaker on a Samoan trophy case, was claimed, and Joe, the excommunicated Samoan, who was thrown out of the tribe, and he will never ever get a title shot at Lesnar again. And Samoa Joe pretty much started to talk about Lesnar again. You have your advocate talk to you for you, and Brock pretty much got in the face that says, "You nice bitch, you nice bitch," or something like that. He said to his face. I gotta go back and look at the clip, and he pretty much got his face down at him. And Reigns pretty much mocked Joe said, because Joe says, "I had your number," and Reigns says, "You had his number? Well, you showed the world last night. What was that? You showed his number then." And Joe pretty much looked at Roman Reigns and says, "At least, you're pretty mouthy for a guy who got beat down by Strowman." And Reigns says, "Look at me and look at Strowman if you can find them." And Zango pretty much stopped him, man. It's kind of odd that two people that lost at the pay-per-view last night are getting title shots now. So the two guys that lost are getting a title shot next week in a number one contenders match to see who will face each other at SummerSlam. And this was a really great segment, okay? And shit, like I said earlier, it looks like Roman Reigns is just face. He's just face making snarky jokes as usual after he nearly tried to kill Braun Strowman. But hey, it's like I explained earlier. It was payback in a way, as I explained earlier with the ambulance before, and as well with the Attitude Era, and people have done this in the past, okay? As over the top it was, we've seen this in the past with people crashing cars and stuff. And we knew he was never gonna go into he's never gonna go okay, he was never gonna heal. No one knew they won't turn him Reigns heel. He's still a face, and I even said it last night myself during the review. I bet you he comes back tomorrow and he's still a face. He's still a face, make him look super strong as usual. And now some people want to be a fatal four-way build up in this SummerSlam, where Strowman will come out and attack them both, most likely. Now, if it really turns into a number one-on-one and one of them wins, then I'd be surprised at that. But a lot of people are saying it's going to be a fatal four-way coming into this. Would it be great to have four giant guys go against each other and kill each other in this, hopefully, and not have a 6-minute match, and someone will go losing in one F5, which was just, okay for what it was. But, yeah, next thing you know, Angle is looking at his phone again, and Graves looked at his phone, and he talked about in the back, "It's scared my career. I don't know what happens if I'll come out next week." So, we don't know how that's going to go. Cedric Alexander and Akira Tozawa wins Neville and Nolan Dar. Cruiserweight match, Tozawa, you guys payback on Neville kicking them and stuff, and got the win with the senton. But I guess I'll get a rematch for the title, but then you gotta care about a lot of cruiserweights to begin with, so you see why Austin Aries isn't here anymore. And I don't know, I heard they either got rid of him or his attitude, or, he just didn't want to be there anymore. But then getting the cruiserweight division ain't going nowhere anyways, because 205 Live is just fucking trash. Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt cut a pro on each other about tonight's match, the rematch, which was somewhat better than the pay-per-view one. I'm actually surprised Bray Wyatt get a win anyways, but Seth was mostly focusing on his hand and even doing the break the fingers thing that a lot of people compare to Marty Scurll when he breaks people's fingers and stuff. But I think somebody pointed out that at least Bray was selling his, everybody kind of forgets that they just had the fingers broken by Marty Scurll most time when he does that move. He breaks them in their fingers match where he come back to normal. Brady would sell the injury, pretty much hit the thumb to the eye thing, and then on Seth, getting the win. So at least Bray Wyatt got 2 wins, but I don't know. It's hard to believe in Bray Wyatt nowadays anyways, because he just loses so many matches. It's like I said before in the past. I don't even think they should have put the title on him. And then when they did, look at the bullshit they did when he did get the title there. So where does he go on from here? I don't know who he faces. But I guess he's done with Seth. He did his disappearance. The Miz Taraj comes out and tries to jump Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose comes out for the save and with a chair and beats them with it, and saying Seth Rollins. And Kramer spoke to somebody on the phone saying, we gotta do this together. And he invited that person and said he loved whoever was on the phone call, and that ended the show. Now, who did they talk about? I don't know. A lot of people most likely believe it's Stephanie McMahon. They say he loved her and everything. We're gonna set this whole thing straight. And I don't know. There's some people that wrote the whole storyline where he was trying to go with Stephanie, but that was so many years ago. And Triple H getting involved. A lot of people think it's Dixie Carter, which we know that Dixie Carter was on the 24 documentary. Kurt Angle. But come on, people, dude, who really wants to see Dixie Carter on TV in WWE? Come on. I get it, her and Kurt went TNA for over 10 years and stuff, but what does this serve a purpose to? And after so much damage Dixie Carter did to TNA, and there's a lot of people that did damage too, but she did a lot of damage in TNA, from people leaving the company, or the Billy Corgan case, which I think was one of the final straws. But when people like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and financial problems and Rude and Eric Young and so many people on the roster just left TNA, it just became so different. Daniels, Kazarian, top tier talent, Sting, a lot of people, and that's really unfortunate, mostly. But I don't think it'll be Dixie Carter. I don't even know if people know who Dixie Carter is. And if they know her, they would most likely boo at her. Come on, we've seen her last time she was on TV doing this stuff. And then she got put through a table by Bully Ray, and how long that bad storyline went with Dixieland. So do we really want to see Dixie Carter on TV with Kurt Angle? Not really the biggest fan. They could just keep her on for the documentary. I'm got no problem with that. They mentioned TNA in that, but maybe they did. But we'll just have to see what happens next week. Like I said, with the Shield thing, will we have the Shield coming back? I don't know. Now, if Roman Reigns just happens to lose that number one contender spot, and maybe it is a one-on-one, then what? Is it the Shield versus the Miztourage? They will probably squash them in seconds at SummerSlam then. But I don't think that's happening. But this show was different. It had its good moments and stuff. Mostly the Brock, Joe, and Roman Reigns segment. Will the Hardys be broken? We don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. They like to tease us, but do I trust the broken gimmick in WWE? No. Will we give it a chance? Yeah, but I'm not really, I am optimistic, but I'm not really too optimistic, because we've seen these things before, when they get something really good and then destroy it very badly and it becomes horrible, without the creative freedom of the person that created it. So, like I said, I'm not sure what will happen with the Hardys, but Jeff said we'll fade away and classify ourselves as obsolete, and stuff, and yeah, it's wonderful and everything. But yeah, from that to any other highlight on the show that was really good. I think like the really only two highlights I can think of, and maybe the main event, which was somewhat better than from the pay-per-view last night. So yeah, but I still find it funny that Roman Reigns is still in that heel and still the face after trying to kill Braun Strowman with a ambulance truck. But I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace. And one more thing, fuck the Revival. This is fun to say. But I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.